Chapter 6 The Barrens. Ben was home when Ellen and Corey returned from town. "Hey, how did it go?" he asked. "So far, so good," was Corey's less than enthusiastic reply. "Any trouble getting into classes?" Ben asked. "Karen had everything set for us," Ellen said, putting the registration papers she had to complete into a brown expandable folder labeled Corey. "How's Karen doing? Is her husband still working for the county?" "She's doing fine," Ellen said. "She says to say hello. She wants us to get together sometime." This went without comment from Ben, which Corey noticed. "Are you ready for a quick tour of the Barrens?" Ben asked, turning to Corey. "Sure." "Grab your coat and we'll go. It'll be getting dark soon, so we'd better make tracks." Ben reached for his enormous brown canvas coat. Low clouds hid the sun as they walked to Ben's pickup. They drove south down Pine Road for 1.5 miles. A quick left had them heading east on Lapham Avenue. Not more than 1/2 mile later, they passed a massive wooden sign that read Mary G. Lincoln Wildlife Area. Ben slowed the truck down. "Who was Mary G. Lincoln?" Corey asked. "She was a biologist, an ornithologist to be precise. She came here with her husband in the 1920s. She spent most of her life here in central Wisconsin working with grassland birds. When most of the early farms in this area failed, she talked the state into buying the land for wildlife. If it weren't for her, this would all be in center pivot irrigation right now." Ben let out the clutch, and the truck started to roll forward. Vast open spaces could be seen on both sides of the road. Corey guessed that he could see at least 10 miles in all directions. "This is almost like being in North Dakota," Corey observed. "Don't let the view fool you," Ben said. "Much of what you see off on the horizon is privately owned land. Some is used to grow potatoes, the rest of it is just pasture." The land seemed to be a mix of grasses and shrubs, with a few small stands of oak. Corey saw movement near a bare spot in the field. "Could you stop for just a second?" he asked urgently. Ben didn't see a thing, but the boy stared intently out the window. "What is it?" Ben asked. "Horned larks," Corey said, sounding genuinely excited for the first time. "They're the first sign of spring. Most people think of robins as the first birds of spring, but the horned larks are. At least, that's what my mom always said." "Your mom liked birds?" Ben immediately wished he hadn't asked. "Yeah," Corey said quietly. "She used to tease my dad that plants were too stupid to fly south for the winter." The next few minutes were uncomfortably quiet. Corey looked out the window, thinking of his mother. Ben looked only at the road. "What's that?" Corey asked, pointing to a large, dark shape on the distant horizon. Ben was relieved by the need to answer. "That's a sandstone outlier," he replied. "What's an outlier?" Corey asked, equally glad the subject had changed. "Do you want the short answer or the long answer?" "I'll take the long answer if we've got the time." "Time we're not short on," Ben said. "That hill is made of sandstone that was formed underwater 500 million years ago during the Cambrian period. The very spot we are on was covered by a shallow saltwater ocean. As the Earth's crust moved around—" "Plate tectonics," Corey announced. "I'm impressed," Ben said. "I didn't learn about that until I went to college. Anyway, as the crust moved, the ocean retreated. For millions of years, this area was dry land because it was being pushed upward. Most of the sandstone eroded. That hill, and a few others like it in the area, is all that's left. They are the outliers." "Cool. Why didn't the glacier wipe them out?" "The last glacier didn't quite make it this far. This area is called an outwash plain, Ben explained. I've never heard of that. The glacier stopped about 10 miles east of here. If we were standing here 11,000 years ago, we'd be looking at a hill of dirty ice that could be almost half a mile thick. As it melted, this whole area turned into a huge lake we now call Lake Wisconsin. That outlier would have been an island in the lake. Wow, said Corey. Ben had forgotten how teenagers expressed themselves in single words. All the sand in this area was brought in by the melting ice. That makes sense, I guess. The sun was dipping low on the horizon. The trip back was silent, and Corey was again deep in thought. As they pulled into the driveway, Corey said, "Thank you." "No problem," Ben said. "I thought you might like that place." Corey quickly said, "No, I mean thank you for, well, just thanks." Without making eye contact, Ben said, "You're welcome."